Everybody, and welcome to another Mortgage Coach Tuesday call. Every Tuesday, we're here to deliver value. My name is Dave Savage, CEO of Mortgage Coach. When I do these calls, sometimes I'm interviewing a top producer, sometimes I'm interviewing an author, and today I've got a number of top Mortgage Coach professionals. Every single one of them they have the Mortgage Coach habit. They're helping families make informed decisions with Mortgage Coach, and they are incredibly successful. So before we get into the mastermind, I want to remind everybody that every single day of the week, there is some type of live educational experience. Mondays get started. So if you haven't created 20 total cost analysis yet, we've got something for you on Monday. Tuesday is this interview. Wednesday is about becoming a mobile master. Thursday is tech training. And Fridays is productivity mastermind. So check it out. Also want to remind everybody that this call is recorded. In addition to the fact that I'm doing real-world script interviews with top loan officers, so every single week there's something fresh and new coming into the Mortgage Coach channel. So be sure to subscribe and check that out. We've got a lot of great professionals today. I'm showing on the screen right now where it says our Skype interviews. Make sure you check out the one I did with Jeremy Forcier on the 5 questions he's asking in every single realtor meeting. Just a great 18-minute interview. So today we've got 6 professionals. So I want to just kind of go down the list, and as I go down this list, I'm going to ask a quick question, and then we're just going to get right into the mastermind. So Mr. Todd Bookspan, I'm going to start with you. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. So excited to be on here with so many great friends and to see so many people I know as attendees. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, no doubt about it, my friend. So Todd is going to really be a facilitator with me, a coach, while he has done thousands of total cost analysis. I actually interviewed Todd last year around annual mortgage reviews and how to maximize past customer business. But Todd and I, we facilitate the Friday call together. So Todd and I are going to be the facilitators. So thanks, Todd. Wally Elderberry. Wally, are you on the call, my friend?
Yes, sir. Feel very, very lucky to be part of this group.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty amazing group of people we have on here. So I interviewed Wally last week. The theme of the call was how Wally is partnering with agents, how he is working online leads, and actually providing referrals back to agents. One of the things that came up was that Wally is working on upgrading his past customer marketing systems and adding an annual review. So I invited Wally to come and be part of this mastermind. Hey, Wally, real quick, if I was to ask you, what is your mortgage why, and what do you tell clients is your unique value proposition in a minute or less? What would you say?
I could probably do less than 10 words. Mortgage lending with a servant's heart. I mean, we're here 100% to serve clients, and we're blessed with a great opportunity. So just my why is the serving clients.
Love that, my friend. Love that a lot. So, by the way, Jeremy Forcier, are you here yet? All right, we will come back to Jeremy. Kelly Zitlow, I know you were here. What's up, Kelly?
I'm well. How are you guys?
We're doing awesome. It's going to be a fantastic conversation. So I've interviewed Kelly a lot, and her perfect loan process, not by her standards, it's not perfect, by most people that would look at how you deliver advice to families, how you use the total cost analysis. I mean, you've got an amazing perfect loan process and an experience that you put through families. Obviously, we're going to talk about best practices to do it better, but how would you describe your mortgage why and your unique value proposition at the point of sale?
So what we do, Dave, is I provide an honest, well-communicated, knowledge-based lending experience. So that's my why. That's what I've done for 21 years. And Mortgage Coach really feeds into that because it allows me to provide that knowledge-based lending experience and really just kind of get to the nuts and bolts of what's going on and what the goals are with the client every time. So Mortgage Coach has been very significant in my business over the last couple of years, and that's why I'm here today. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Love it, love it. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you're doing and how it's going. So Lori Richardson. Lori Richardson is another amazing mortgage coach professional, has created over 600 total cost analysis experiences. And Lori, I think by most people on this call, if you ask, hey, who's the loan officer that's doing the best job of serving their past clients post-closing and really maximizing past customer referrals, I mean, you're on everybody's mind. So real quick, if you don't mind just telling us what your unique value proposition is and your mortgage why, and then we'll get into the conversation.
Yeah, you bet. Glad to be here. Like Kelly and Wally, really our goal is to serve our clients at a really high level. Our mortgage why, as you know, is to empower families to achieve their financial goals and achieve financial significance in life. We know that the mortgage is definitely the deliverable, but really that's an ends to a means for most people. And so we spend a lot of time really going deep, understanding what they're trying to accomplish and help the mortgage, help integrate their mortgage into the rest of their financial plan so they can do what they really want to do, which is sometimes retire or put their kids through college or, live in a way that they'd like to.
Right on, right on. Well, let's we'll get into specific questions in just a few minutes. Danny Haran. Jeremy has created the most total cost analysis of anybody on today's call with over 2,000. Danny is in second place with 1,701. Danny Horanyi, if you could really quickly say hi to everyone and share your mortgage why and your unique value proposition, how you position in the market.
Good morning, everybody. Well, first thing, Jeremy, challenge accepted. Those 300 analyses are going to be thrown up there pretty quickly, let me tell you. It's going to be fun. So the unique proposition that we present to our clients is what we share with them in our initial meeting is educate, communicate, execute. So those are the three things that we frame everything around. And the Mortgage Coach Total Cost Analysis is a huge, huge part of that. It really speaks to all three of the pillars of our referable experience.
Love it, love it. Well, let's get into the mastermind. My goal in this call is to start a conversation. From my analysis and the study we've been doing at Mortgage Coach, the missed opportunity of past customer business is just massive. I knew it was big when I started this project, but I mean it's just a massive opportunity. So I'm not going to go and ask everybody on this call, I'm going to ask everybody on the call, but I'm not going to, ask the leaders because we just don't have time to get into it. But I want to know, I'm going to post a question right now, and I want to get a sense of how many past customers do you have in your database right now. So we're going to post that question. How many past customers do you have in your database right now? Less than 100, 100 to 500, 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, and then of course, if you've got 2,000 plus, let us know how many past customers you have in your database. And I think everybody knows how we roll. I want to get 70% of you voting. Right now we're at 41%. So the more of you that vote, the better. How many past customers do you have? And put the range. Less than 100, 100 to 500, 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 plus. 54% of you voted. Come on, guys. Let's get this up over 70%. All right. So this does align with the study that I've done and the questions I've asked the market. 5% of you have over 2,000. 20% of you have less than 100, and then the bulk of you are kind of in the middle. More than almost 60% are in the 500 to 1,000. So the next question I want to ask, and this is possibly the most important question, is how many past customer loans did you do last month? Again, I'm not asking you how many did you do for the year or how many did you do last year. Everybody should just kind of like in their head go, yeah, I did 1, I did 2, I did 3, 4 or more. So same people that voted, please vote again. Only 40% of you have voted. It's really important that we kick off the call understanding the opportunity. How many loans are being left on the table because of how you're working or not working past customers. So 53% of you have voted. Come on, everybody, let's push it up. Let's get it to 70%. And here are the results. So leaders and mentors, make note, 31% are at 0, 25, so over 50% are 1 or less, over 75% are 2 or less, and we are, like at 16% at 3 or more. By the way, Todd Bookspan, any comments or questions before we move on into the dialogue?
You and I talked this morning. I just think this is the biggest opportunity for most people on this call. Certainly those of you who've done, more than 3 or 4 past client loans last month, kudos to you, but the rest of the group, which is the majority of the group, has such a great opportunity to go out there and get more business in a tight market. So I love it, and I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say about how they're doing it.
Well, let's do this. Danny and his team, first of all, they're a mega team. They do a lot of business. And from the interviews I've done, the way they set customer expectations at the beginning is fantastic. So, Danny, why don't you start with, what are you doing really well from a mortgage under management, setting up your past customers for future success, and then what is the thing that you could do to most improve? And Danny's going to share this, and all the other leaders on the call, if you have questions for Danny after he shares, feel free to jump in. Danny?
So where we're really, I believe where we're really doing things well is actually in the process of executing for the client. We're really pre-framing up the client for life expectation and our commitment to that. So there's a few things that we do. One of them was just strategically aligning with a mortgage bank that is heavy into servicing, so that we know that we're going to have access to a lot of the information for the client. Their mortgage statement's going to include the picture of our team number, not just the customer service number. So it gives them, that client a really kind of easy access to us. And we really frame that up throughout the transaction. We let them know, look, if you have a question, please call us first. We provide a concierge service. Even though our company is that customer service number, they're still a big organization, and they won't have the same understanding of your unique needs as our team will. So please call our local number before you ever call into the customer service line. We let them know, kind of as a what's in it for them situation, that our team members will sit on hold with them, and they'll sit on hold with corporate and then loop them into a conversation. Anything that's going to really set them up for whatever those frustration pain points are. We kind of frame it up there that we're going to be there to assist them with that. And one of the scripts that we use for that is that we believe as really their mortgage planner, their mortgage professional for life, that our job's really to get them out of debt, not into it. People want a house, not a loan. And so what we commit to doing is helping them strategically structure their mortgage throughout the life cycle of it, so that they're in the best position at all times. So we frame it up that way, and then at closing, we provide them with the Cutco closing gifts, which many of you, if you've attended any kind of mortgage industry, like Mortgage Mastery or the MASTERMIND Summit out in Vegas. Actually, Todd Duncan's event's coming up here pretty soon. It's an awesome opportunity, and the Cutco guys will be there, I'm pretty sure. And so the number to our team is on a knife that's in the kitchen for that family. And so they have a lot of different ways that they'll be able to access us in the future, and we framed it up appropriately so that they know that they have some upside to access us before reaching out to another mortgage professional, or even calling our own customer service line, which sometimes that kind of takes them down the wrong rabbit hole. And of course, we provide them with total cost analysis throughout the transaction, so that they know they have access to their information, kind of the structure of their loan that we had. And where we do things poorly is actually following up with any sort of a basically following up with any sort of an actual structured, systematic annual review. Everything we're doing now as far as interacting with the clients after closing is really kind of incidental or opportunistic, rather than being systematic, even though we actually have the annual review through total cost analysis as part of our written standard operating procedures, we're actually not consistently executing on it, which is definitely an opportunity.
Love it. So let's drill down on a few things. So you're delivering a great point of sale experience. You know, I know because I've interviewed you. You're doing the hopes and dreams conversation. You've got a client for life script. You're delivering the total cost analysis. Obviously, you guys do a great job during the transaction. You can listen to other interviews I've done with Danny to get get in the weeds on that. And then you've got a lasting and memorable gift, but the opportunity is upgrading your annual review. Does that pretty much sum it up, Danny? Danny?
Oh, sorry, I put myself back on mute there. I apologize. Yes, that sums it up.
Okay. And then just to get clear, everybody, on the opportunity, in preparation for this call and part of the study, I've reached out to Rob Chrisman. Actually, if everybody read Ross Chrisman report this Saturday, and he talked about someone reaching out from Oregon, and he talked about, you know, how many of your loans, how many people in your past customer database are doing a loan. That was triggered by me. I have talked to the Stratmore Group. I've talked to Bill Dallas. I've talked to a lot of folks, and this is what I know, that if you've got 100 past customers, a minimum of 6 of them should be doing a loan with you every year. And at least 12 of them, about 12% is what you should plan around, are doing a loan. You know, so if you just had a 50% conversion rate, and it goes up from there. So I'm going to bring out this ROI worksheet throughout the call, and I'm actually going to run some numbers to make sure everybody realizes just how much money is involved. And of course, the more past customers you have, once it gets to like 500 and 1,000, it starts turning into like wealth accumulating opportunity to really harvest your, you know, to make the most of your past customers. So by the way, does anybody else have a question for Danny before we bring on another leader? Anybody else have a question for Danny? All right. Hey, Danny, I'm going to ask you a question just to put you on the spot and set the rhythm. You kind of talked about how you set expectations at the point of sale. What is your like 1-minute script? What does that sound like? I'm a customer, I'm at point of sale. Let's just focus on the client for life part of that script. What exactly does that sound like? If you could script that out for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started off with, you know, setting up the expectation of educate, communicate, execute. And then we explain that our goal is really to structure the mortgage to really best meet their needs. And we use the term that we kind of weave in is sustainable homeownership. We let them know that in our experience and working with other clients like them, that if we position things properly and really set them up for success, that it's not just about this house, it's about structuring out their whole life of home ownership. So this place maybe is the home that they're going to raise their kids in until college, and then they're going to have another place, and then they're going to have the retirement place. And we basically say, by creating sustainable home ownership, by really educating you around what the best way to structure things are right now and following up in the future, that we'll be able to position you not just for this transaction, but for all the future purchases that you'll have in your life. So we're kind of using an assumptive close that we're going to be there for all those other events, and that this is really teeing that up for them. And then we talk about how and we hit them right with the statement, you know, people aren't coming to us because they want a loan, they're coming to us because they want a house. And we understand that, you know, we have no illusions about it. We're not naively thinking that people are coming because, you know, they just want to borrow money, right? That's always an incidental part of the process. And so we say, you know, knowing that, we believe our job is to not put you into debt, but to get you out of it. And that's why we aligned ourselves with loan servicers, so we can help you maximize your amortization, keep things structured. And then we do, again, tee up the idea that we're going to, and this is where I'm really disappointed, because we're making a promise that we're not really following through on thoroughly, where we say we're going to, you know, visit with them annually and kind of make sure they're optimized at all times, which is something that we're not doing consistently.
Got it. So just to complete this part of the front end process, one of the best scripts and one of the best at this, in fact, I'm interviewing Tim next month on, you know, perfect loan process, but Tim Brahim, his scripting at the front end of the process is as good as it gets. So I put a homework assignment in our Mortgage Coach Mastermind group, and highly recommend you watch this video. Also, we have it transcribed, and the video, like if you're watching this call today in a video format, we'll have a lot of homework assignments below, and a link to this, setting up the next deal script by Tim, and the actual scripting will be below in a link. Also, that scripting is available during today's call in the handout section. So if you look at the handout section, we've got some scripts here for you. Check that out. So let's do this. Kelly, Zitlow, I mean, you do it well everywhere, and feel free to add anything that you're doing at the point of sale. But I also want to make sure that how you're, creating clients for life, maximizing past customers, what you do during the transaction, I want to make sure that comes out. But I'm going to start the question just like, what do you think you're doing best when it comes to, creating clients for life and maximizing past customers, and what do you think you can work on doing better?
So a couple things. I think that what we do really well is we have mastered the implementation of Mortgage Coach in the pre-qualification stage, really talking with the clients, understanding what the goals are, making sure that we are putting together the options that best fit those goals. So I think we do that really, really well on the pre-qualification side. As you know, Dave, and some of you that have heard me in the past, once the client goes under contract, then we're going to make that Mortgage Coach cost analysis specific to the contract, and then show them different options to lock in the rate, et cetera, based on the program that we previously discussed in the pre-qualification. So that we are very, very consistent with those pieces of the puzzle. We also update Mortgage Coach throughout the process. So once my contract to close coordinators are involved, the contract comes in, Mortgage Coach gets updated, we lock the loan, we update it again, and we're updating it as things are changing through the process. So the client at any point can pop into Mortgage Coach, see what their cash to close figure is, and really just kind of review the numbers. What I like about that is we see engagement through the process, and I get an email every time that they're in there, so I know that they're in there, they're looking. Maybe it's a great opportunity to reach back out, see if they have any questions, etc. So that's what we do really well. I think the area that we can improve on is certainly post-closing follow-up, which is the whole reason for this call, Dave. So I love the fact that you spearheaded this.
Love it, love it. By the way, does anybody have a question for Kelly based on what she just said?
Hey, Kelly, Todd.
So Kelly,
what percentage?
Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, what percentage of your clients are actually going back in throughout the process and looking at their TCA to get those numbers versus calling you guys? I got to imagine it's pretty high.
It is. It's about 80 to 85%. So high connection and engagement from clients through the process. So I know that it's important, and I know that, how it is, Todd, sometimes, when we're locking them in and they're under contract and they have a million things going on in their heads, that conversation could be a 15-minute, 20-minute call. Yes, we agree to lock. And then, 2 days later, they're like, oh my gosh, what did she say? So I remind them during that call that they always have access to the link. They can go back in, review when they, have time. And if they have questions, just go ahead and reach back out. So that's kind of how that's worked well.
No, I think that's huge. What about video? Are you changing the video at all throughout, or removing the initial videos, or what does that part look like?
Yeah, so I've really gone to the Edge live reporting more than I'm doing video through the Mortgage Coach now. I think that it helps me be able to gauge where they are. So I would say at this point in time, I'm doing about 90% of my cost analysis when I do my high trust call. I'm doing it with the live Edge reporting.
Awesome. Great advice.
And so for everybody to just connect the dots, we've got a feature called Live, and that will allow Kelly to be talking to the client and then moving the report while she's doing that to have that engaged experience. So just to kind of summarize Kelly's best practices, and again, I've interviewed her so many times, if you watch any of the interviews, it'll come out, but she's got a great hopes and dreams and goals conversation. She is setting up that client for life relationship. She's doing a total cost. She does great transactions, keeps people well updated. Where she distinguishes herself within the Mortgage Coach community is that she does have a consistent rhythm around updating the total cost analysis. And then I know, because I've interviewed Kelly before, they are updating the total cost analysis at closing, but they're not necessarily, representing it to the client. That is an area of improvement. And by the way, I recommend to everybody on this call, the best practice is, hey, you closed the loan. Where do you think the puck is going for the family? If they told you that paying off MI was a goal, well then, that's what you want to be prepared to talk about at the annual review. If they told you, building up equity and moving up in 3 to 5 years was a goal, then that's where the puck is going. If they, whatever the family said their goal was, you want to, make a note somewhere in your CRM. Kelly, great job to you and your team. The fact that you're updating the total cost analysis and you're going to be ready for that annual review. But I just recommend that you enhance that with what is the goal? What is the follow-up goal for the family? Because, Lori, you're going to go now. But Lori's all about creating financial significance for family, and where we really become more valuable as mortgage professionals is when we're delivering that great point of sale experience, that awesome transactional experience, and now we really are their coach. We've become this family's coach and mentor that's helping them to achieve their real estate goals with mortgage management over time. So just make sure you're making a note on that and you're upgrading your CRM and how you use Mortgage Coach. So before I bring Lori Richardson in, anybody have a question for Kelly or a comment at this point?
Hey, Kelly, this is Wally here. Just a quick question for you, Kelly. When you see a client got back into it, let's just say 6 months goes by and a client got back into it and they're there for 3 minutes or so, is it a script that you use, reach back out to them? Is it a call that's auto-prompted? Is it an email? Like what's the next step?
Well, sometimes I think that they're a stalker if I have the video on it. So I actually had to go take a video off of a client who didn't need anything. He just kept going back into the Mortgage Coach. So lesson learned, I took the videos off. But I think what we do is when Dave was mentioning that we're updating the Mortgage Coach throughout the process, that's really my focal point at this point, which is I am then forwarding that email to the closing coordinator, which is my processors, and just saying, hey, Joe and Sally are checking in with the Mortgage Coach. When you have your weekly call or when I'm making the weekly call, let's just make sure that they're on track with the funds to close, see if they have any questions, etc. So that's really our focal point, and we are all over that. With regard to once we close, that's really where we're weak, Wally. So I don't have a script per se, but certainly we can see activity in there. And I send out a monthly video to my entire database that is geared to clients. So we are keeping in touch with them throughout the process and throughout the year subsequent to the closing, but nothing in particular with regard to the Mortgage Coach other than we know that they're engaging.
Got it. Just a quick follow-up question on that. So your monthly videos, the monthly video to your database, is it just seasonal, or is it through Mortgage Coach? Is it separate? Like, what does your monthly video look like?
We do it through Constant Contact, and we save them all to YouTube, so you certainly can go there and check them out. It's not Mortgage Coach related, but it's really just topical based on whatever's going on. So I just actually did one with the financial planner, did a co-video with him about some of the most recent 401k changes that took place, just to try to bring information and valuable thoughts to my database. So that's really the how I put those together. Just something short and sweet, kind of remind them of what's going on either with real estate, mortgage rates, or things that might be important to the financial aspects of their world.
Thank you.
And folks, I did an interview with Kelly on how she uses video, and I think it was this one right here, How to Leverage Video with Kelly Zitlow, and we talked a lot about what she's doing in her YouTube channel and just, her whole global strategy on video. Kelly also created a video on how she creates a video for 2 minutes, and then Kelly, I still think this is one of the coolest things a Mortgage Coach member has done, where she created a video around how she presents the rent versus own to realtors. So she made a video, tells her story. Another really good Kelly Zitlow training and follow-up. So good stuff. So let's do this. Let's keep this going. And by the way, great questions, Wally, and other leaders on this call. I encourage you to ask each other's questions. By the way, before I go to Lori, I do want to put you on the spot for 1 minute, Kelly, because you said that you've got such a high engagement rate when people are looking at your TCA throughout the transaction. could you just give us 30 seconds of scripting? You know, like, how do you explain that to the client so that they're clicking? And don't explain how. I literally want to hear your script. Like, I'm a customer, and I'm going to go, and you're going to tell me that you're going to be updating this. How does that sound? What do you say to me?
So during the high trust call, after the contract comes in and we've updated the cost analysis, we send a template email that goes out to the client. So Dave, so excited, you know, you're under contract. Here's kind of next steps in the process. By the way, we've updated your cost analysis. I'm going to be calling you this afternoon, and we'll get a game plan for locking. So that's kind of the nemesis of the actual template. So then I'm calling you, and I've sent you the link. So hopefully you're in a place where you can pull that up on your phone and or your computer. And I'm just going to kind of walk you back through the cost analysis. This isn't the first time that you have had it, so this will be kind of like the second time because we've already gone through the cost analysis during the pre-qual stage. So we're just kind of evaluating whatever lock-in options are at that point in time, making sure that, you know, you're escrowing or you're not and all that fun stuff, that we haven't missed anything. And so once we wrap that up and you say, hey, Kelly, lock me in at that, you know, 4 1/8 with no cost or whatever it is, I'll just kind of continue with, okay, so Dave, I'm going to get that locked in for you today. Want you to know that you're going to have access to this cost analysis until we close. And we're going to update this. So once you get us your homeowner's insurance, once we firm up the title fees, et cetera, you're going to see that the cash to close number change throughout the process. My numbers are really, really conservative and very accurate, but just know there is going to be a slight difference based on the homeowner's insurance and some of the other things that update through the process. So it's kind of how I say it, and then just kind of tease them up to keep paying attention to the cost analysis and what's going on during the process.
Love it. So, I mean, I hope everybody's connected the dots. She's delivered this great point-of-sale experience using the total cost analysis. Whenever it makes sense to do live, she's doing live. She's updating it during the transaction. You've got some scripting. One of my goals in this call, in the calls I'm going to be doing over the next couple months, is that we're going to be creating this mortgage coach client for life playbook, and that will become part of it. So hopefully you guys took some notes. Do want to remind everybody on this call, I want it to be as interactive as you want to make it. So if you haven't already signed up for the Mortgage Coach Mastermind group, this is a place to mastermind after this call and during this call. So if you have a question, a quote, or a takeaway, be sure to connect with us here. So Lori Richardson, you do a great job, and you're well known for kind of great job at point of sale. I don't know what you're doing transaction, but I do know that you are doing annual reviews and following up. So could you tell us what you think you do really well and what you think you can improve on?
Absolutely. Well, Kelly, your system is totally awesome. I have lots of homework to go and watch all those videos now, so thanks a lot. I think what we do well, it's been my goal for when I first started originating to become my own best referral source. And so because we're really focused on the client experience and taking great care of people, and we go really deep at the beginning, it sets us up to be able to manage that client relationship for life. We don't ever use that term just because I think there are a lot of people who do, but we really want to be intentional about the language and about the relationship that we create with people from the very beginning. So I still use the old, Duncan's old mortgage planning questionnaire. It's one of the first things that my clients get in the process. And it just, you know, kind of talks them through, helps us understand what their financial goals are, how long they think they're going to, you know, keep the asset, and in addition to what their real estate goals are, I want to know what their financial goals are. Are they saving for or working on saving for college education? Are they working on, you know, living on one income? Are they going to downsize? So it really helps us just to kind of get a big sense of who they are. When we do that at the beginning, Dave, we just start to develop a relationship with them and understand, you know, kind of big picture what their financial goals are. And I love Tim Brahim's script. I think the one that you were referring to in that video, just kind of going deep with clients, again, understanding their financial goals, but then telling them, if I'm doing my job correctly, my job really just begins when you first close your loan from me. And from there, it's really our job to help you manage one of the largest debts you'll likely ever take on in your life. And, most people who do what we do for a living just provide the debt and get the check and walk away, and that's not the kind of relationship we want to have with you. And so we're going to continue to help monitor the market as things continue to evolve and see if there's an opportunity to rewrite your loan and save you money over time and help you build your net worth. And I think that starts to set us apart from our competition when we start talking in those terms. We also go deep trying to understand, again, their financial goals as we move through the process, and we're constantly updating our CRM so that we're crystal clear. I wrote down, I loved your script, Dave, about where's the puck going, and I think that's, a huge part of our strategy is just really trying to understand who are you, where are you right now financially, and where do you want to go, and how can we help you get there. So I think one of the things we do really well is following up with our annual mortgage review. And I built it as a system. Most of the people who've heard me speak know that in my world it's all about systems. But really that kind of originated out of a commitment that we made, kind of like you said, Danny, we're in it to win it with you over the long run. And I really felt an obligation to try to create a system to help us follow through on that. And I promise you guys, the people on this call that are not doing it, and the people that are listening, it's a lot easier than you think it is. I promise you that. Wally and I talked a couple weeks ago, and for us, just again creating the actual system around the annual mortgage review. For us, we created a quick video that goes to our clients, and we send that about a week before their actual annual mortgage review date. And it just is really quick. I attach a copy of our annual mortgage review questionnaire. You can see the video there. Actually, that's not the video. But we have an annual mortgage review questionnaire that just kind of talks a little bit about, what their goals are now, what changes have happened in the last 12 months, what changes do we anticipate happening in the next 12 to 24 months, so we can help you prepare for them. And my video, we update it a couple times a year. And it's an evergreen video, so we send the same one every single time. And it's pretty simple and basic, and it just says, hey, can't believe it's been a year, can't wait to catch up. I've attached a copy of our annual mortgage review questionnaire. As promised, we just wanted to check in and help you make sure that we're helping manage this debt and see if your needs have changed. You don't have to fill it out, but I do think it's a good idea just to kind of review it, and then we'll talk about it when we catch up. So I'll look forward to chatting with you in the next week or so, and hope your day is great. So our system is in place just to make sure that those calls are happening. I try to do at least 5 per day, and I think the magic really is in connecting with clients. Sometimes I'm telling them, y'all are in great shape, right? You're at 3 7/8 on a 30-year fixed, and unless you've outgrown your neighborhood or don't like your neighbors, you guys are in great shape. But what I find is that so many times our clients have questions about something. Sometimes it's real estate related, sometimes it's mortgage related, but other times it has nothing to do with any of that. And they have questions about long-term care or financial planning or, getting ready to empty nest. And it's a great time for us just to kind of connect and answer questions and really try to put them in touch with a resource that can be helpful to whatever they're working on in their world, even if it's not mortgage related.
Love that. So folks, I think, Lori, you gave me that mortgage questionnaire. Do you mind if we share that in the Facebook group with folks?
Oh, sure.
There's about 25 people asking for it. It's a very popular request.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will. If you're watching this video in YouTube, which you might be watching it, there'll be a link below in the description to Lori's list or her goals, and also we'll put that in our Facebook group, along with Lori was kind enough to share some of the videos that she does. So as much of the information that we cover in this, they will be in our Facebook group. And remember, folks, we are creating a customer for life playbook. So we will put this in a very comprehensive place along with scripts and all these links. So also a really common question, and I don't want to, we've got 20 minutes left. I don't want to go down a rabbit trail, but enough people asked about what CRM different people are using. So just really quick, I'm going to go down the list, quickly. What CRM are you using, Lori?
Salesforce.
Kelly, Zitlow, what CRM?
Jungo.
Jungo, Salesforce. Danny, what CRM are you using?
I'll answer for him. He's using Salesforce. He's got a custom Salesforce database.
Yep. Todd, what are you doing?
Custom Salesforce. And I would also say, Dave, let's throw into the mastermind the link to the CRM call that we did on Friday's productivity call a week or two back. I think that would be good value for any of you who are interested in kind of the tactical of how people are using it. We did a call on that on the Friday morning mastermind that Dave and I run, and it'd be a great one to listen to learn a little bit from another group of top folks.
Hey, Todd, will you share that in this Facebook group, and we'll put a link to that. Yeah, we dedicated a whole call to CRM. And Wally, what CRM are you using?
Salesforce.
Got it. All right, so there you have it. Again, remember, everybody, the best CRM is the one that you use, and I've interviewed enough top producers to know that there's a lot of different CRMs. The one that gets used, the one that gets implemented is absolutely the best. Someone just asked about the Facebook group. Just do Mortgage Coach Mastermind on Facebook, and I'll approve to let you in. So just to summarize, what I think Lori is doing great. She does a great hopes and dreams conversation. She's got client for life scripting at the front end. She delivers a total cost analysis at the front end. And then where her magic is what is her follow-up. The way that she promotes that, she's going to share the video on that, and you talked about it. And then her and her team are actually doing it. So, it's kind of interesting. We're interviewing and we're talking to some of the most successful loan officers in America. They're not even 1%ers. I mean, this is like everybody on this call is like a 0.5% to one of the top 200 loan officers in the country. So it's really an amazing group. None of them are perfect, but they're all doing something really special and really magic. By the way, does anybody have questions for Lori after what she just shared?
I do. So, Lori, I love this. I am implementing this. I am so excited. I don't know why I didn't think about it earlier, but the whole canned, video kind of thing, just addressing the anniversary or the annual review. My question is that automated through Salesforce, meaning that Salesforce is just somebody on your team is just kind of reading, here's the anniversaries? Are you doing it every year going back for 20 years, or do you stop at some point in your database at the 2-year, 3-year, 5-year mark? Kind of just tell me how you're managing that, because that's really what I struggle with is I tried to do, actual client videos for all of the clients. That didn't work just because it was so cumbersome and timely. So really walk me through the system. I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, you bet. You can automate them through Salesforce, and we're in the process of doing that right now. One of the things that we purposefully decided to do was it's all recorded. It's in Salesforce. It's the click of a button, and now my assistant goes in and just preps me for the week based on how many I think I can get done the following week. So I didn't want to send out 400 this week if I only had the capacity. I'm joking, but to do 200 and leave people hanging. So I really think that evergreen video would be a great way to do it, just so that you're still touching them personally, but excuse me, it's an easy system. We do it. I generally speaking will send them out the week before their anniversary. So again, Salesforce it's an automated report in my world that shows here's everybody's annual mortgage reviews for next month. You could do it, for next week, tomorrow, however you want to do it. And then it's easy. Again, you could automate it if you decide you want to. We're kind of in the throes of that right now. But I go back forever, and I know that sounds kind of silly, but I will tell you guys a silly example. I did an annual mortgage review for somebody because, like I said, sometimes their mortgage is gone. Sometimes we've done a good job of staying in touch. Sometimes they went to, Quicken Loans, God forbid. But they're still our clients. And just as you said, Danny, when we first started talking about it, like I want them to call me with all things financial, like any financial questions. I'm game to help them find a resource for it. So I was doing an annual mortgage review. For some reason, this client, his name is Christian Alavi, just fell through the cracks. I hadn't touched him via annual mortgage review since 2009, and this was 2016. I call and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done it in a mortgage review. I feel like an idiot. I'm like, okay, but I tell everybody I'm calling anyway, so I did. Ended up talking to him. He said, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to him forever. I'm just getting ready to sell a rental property in Wash Park, and I'm getting married and having a baby, so I need to purchase. We ended up being able to refer him to an agent to sell the Wash Park property. We did the loan on the purchase, and he was opening up a new business called Scissors and Scotch. And we ended up helping him, just kind of publicize that. He's done a couple free parties for us, for our clients, inviting people to come into that, and has become one of my best referral sources. So I would really encourage you guys, don't just do them for a year or 2 years or 3 years. If we really are serious about having clients for life, then it's easy to call and, check in and say hello. One of the things that I've been also reminding people, I had my daughter's tutor's house burned down in January of this year. One of the most painful experiences you can ever imagine. We had just recorded a video about doing a video home inventory, and the week before her house burned down. And it was just, totally God's hand, serendipity. But an easy way to have these conversations, even if you're talking to somebody after 5 years and there's nothing they need to do on their mortgage, is to say, hey, just because we care about you and we really want to be helpful to you as a resource, this is a great time to go in and do a video home inventory of everything you own. Take your smartphone, walk around your house, open up your sock drawer, open up your underwear drawer, just videotape every single thing that you own, because if something were to happen, your insurance agent's going to bring you a blank sheet of paper and say, please write down everything you own. And I tell the story of Ginger and just how painful it is. So that's a great, easy way to, just be checking in with people and saying, hey, don't forget, if you really love this idea, put a reminder on your phone in the next 21 days and just get it done. And then we're kind of partnering with people to make their life better.
Loved it. So I put what she just said down under ongoing services. She's making annual calls. She's sending valuable, emails and texts, and of course, doing an annual review. So remember, everybody, we're gonna create a playbook. I am, working on that as this call goes on. I'm showing a screenshot here. This video will be available, and all the assets that have been talked about will be available. So I want to do two things. One, Wally, I'm going to bring you in just a minute. We are in the final 12 minutes, but I'm going to get you in within a couple minutes. But I want to make sure everybody on this call realizes just what's at stake. Well, actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet because, like I said, we're doing a study on this. And if you had a 6% pull-through, so that means 6% of your clients did a loan with you every year. And by the way, this doesn't include all the referrals that they give you. This is just like, hey, I did a loan with someone and they did a loan with me this year. If 6% did that, it would be, if you had 3,000 customers, we're talking about, $360,000 a year, $1.8 million in commissions. And by the way, that's assuming, that you make $2,000 a loan. And, the average in the industry, well, I'm not going to get into it, but Stratmore knows it. Think about how much money you make a loan and then do the math. One of my hopes that everybody on this call will do from a business planning perspective is you'll start managing your mortgages under management. Every single month, you will say, how many past customers do I have? How many past customer loans did I do? That's my monthly pull-through rate. And you're gonna say, what am I trending from an average? And anything less than 6 is just a massive missed opportunity. And look, like if I change that to 8%, look what happens to the math, Now, again, for those of you on this call that have less than 100 clients under management, the opportunity for you is not as large. But I can tell you right now, I bet if we ask Kelly, Lori, Danny, anybody on this call, hey, do you wish when you started off that you set, client for life expectations at the point of sale and that you implemented a really solid customer for life program? They'd all be like, gosh, I wish I would have done it sooner and faster. By the way, does everybody agree with that? Like for anybody who's got a small past customer database, is there is there ever going to be a better time to put the systems in place?
No.
Those are the guys in the luckiest.
And the cool thing, yeah, the cool thing about this, my favorite part of the annual mortgage reviews, is that these are people who already know us, like us, and trust us, which is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. So, Wally, I want to bring you in real quick. And what are some of your biggest takeaways? And two, what do you think you're doing really well right now, and what do you need to upgrade?
The biggest takeaway so far is really kind of understanding, I mean, it's just a model. I mean, I've got a really strong, sophisticated lead generation type model on the purchase side, and doing almost $100 million of production on the purchase side, and just focus on 90 some odd % purchase business, and like probably 0.009% database business. How much money I'm leaving on the table, but now I've got kind of a roadmap. And now I've got where I'm kind of thinking is, okay, so all these videos you just kind of pointed through is I'm writing down these videos and breaking down, okay, so I'm going to have a Sunday afternoon mastermind at my house with the leadership of my team. We're going to watch each one of these videos at the meeting room at the house, pause certain spots, create a model, best practices from these videos, and really kind of digging deep of like how we can create a person, a human on our team that is responsible for create this department. I think we're definitely leaving a lot of opportunity on the table, but it's also a lot of easier, less expensive opportunity to prospect too.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I'm glad that you're on this call. I can't wait for the next time I interview you, because I know how you're gonna crush it with systems. And everybody who's on this call, watch out for Wally, because while he may have the least amount of client for life systems, I have a feeling that a couple months from now you'll be killing it, because you're staffing for it. Which is a reminder to everybody. You need to have the systems and process, but you also need to staff, whether that's a full-time assistant, committing a partial of the resources of an assistant to do it. You need to make sure you resource for these touch points. And just for the conversations you and I have had offline, Wally, I know you're going to do that. Well, I want to, as we go into the last few minutes of this call, I want to have everybody think deeply around your mortgage practice. And I watched a video yesterday called Price versus Value. It was done. I don't know how many people follow the RE Source guys. And I asked Ryan Hill to jump on. By the way, Ryan, I have unmuted you. Are you here, brother?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Ryan. Going good. So Ryan, I don't know if we want to call this a rant, but it was a show that you did this week around, hey, are we as mortgage professionals really delivering value? Would you mind just giving a minute? This is like a 5-minute video, so you don't need to do the whole 5 minutes, but you've been on this call listening to the conversation we're having. And if you could, just share, your thoughts. By the way, Ryan is a regional leader, so he leads a lot of loan officers. He's been a branch manager. He's been a top producer. If you could just share some thoughts to help close this and create urgency and value for everyone, it would really be helpful, brother.
Yeah, first of all, great call, Dave. I mean, this is awesome. I'm watching and my head's spinning because there's so much good stuff here. So I'm hoping to get all the resources, and I love what Wally just said about inviting the team over on a Sunday and watching a lot of these videos and kind of talking about best practices. But the show yesterday was kind of spawned from a coach, one of my coaches, Bill Hart, who had a really good thread on his Facebook page, and he simply asked, how do you handle the question, your price is too high? And he got a ton of engagement on Facebook. That kind of spawned a thought in my head about, because a lot of the answers were in regards to value, which a lot of the top producers talked about, the amazing value that they bring on the call today. And so my mind, just being contrarian, is like, okay, I wonder if, and this is just a question, and I don't have really the answer, but I wonder if the value that we represent to our clients and kind of have thought, through as teams, I wonder if that's still of value to our clients. I wonder how many of us in the industry, and I've got a lot of great feedback from realtors too, because they watch the show, are still representing and handing out value that maybe they perceive as value, but our clients, because of technology and just the evolution of the industry, maybe they don't perceive as value. And so I just posed that question, this provocative question. It's something that I feel like every team, every company, every brand, even on the real estate side, should revisit every year, maybe even sooner than that. So it's a great topic, a lot of great feedback. We don't typically host our shows on YouTube, so I promise you we have more than 4 views, Dave. But that was basically the show yesterday, and I got to give it to Bill Hart. It was really spawned from his question on Facebook that had a ton of engagement.
Yeah. So by the way, they host their videos on REFERRALS TV. Sorry about that, Ryan. That was the most terrible way for me to pull it up.
Yeah,
and actually, if we refreshed it. By the way, and I did share that to everybody in the group. But here's the place to check it out, REFERRALS TV. But I think it's a good setup for today's call, or a good close for today's call, because one of the things that Ryan talks about is, are we really, delivering value? And I personally can't think of a better way for a mortgage professional to deliver value than to actually execute a client for life relationship. I mean, yeah, we gotta do a good loan. We got to point of sale, provide advice. We got to do a great transaction. But if you can actually differentiate by actually executing on helping that client achieve their goals over time, you will never have competition. You will always kill it. So I do think, watch that video that Ryan did, and I think it's more important, not only is everybody leaving a lot of money on the table, I think you're, again, I don't want to, spare fear and you're going to get disrupted, but let's face it, the Costco lenders, the Quicken Loans, the lenders that are really delivering that Costco service, they're getting great at transactions. And if you want to kill it and have a sustainable, career in this business, I think you need to upgrade your client systems, and I think you need to execute on really listening to people, tailoring your advice, delivering a great experience, and doing it over time. That's where I just, after you watch Ryan's video, if you actually executed client for life, I don't think you got anything to worry about. So with that said, Todd, I'm going to give you the closing thoughts to make this actionable. Coach Todd, anything you want to say as we wrap up today's call?
Absolutely. Loved the call. I don't think that those of you who are here are disappointed in what you heard. So I always say that you got to act now, right? So once this call ends in a couple of minutes, block off at least 30 minutes. You might need 60 or more, and just review your notes, right? Outline what you think your client for life process should be. And that may take watching this again when Dave posts this call to video, may go back through YouTube, right? You can look up Kelly, you can look up Lori, you can look up Danny, you can search annual client review. There's so much in there already on this, and make your, outline a process to start today, right? Don't wait until you've watched 25 videos. Don't procrastinate any longer. And then write out what your next action steps are to get it implemented. And then, I love what Lori said, right? Lori, I've known Lori for a long time, and she does call 5 people just about every day. And so call one person, right? Pick someone in your database. It's going to be easy. Pick someone who you really connected with, who you know about their kids, about their business, about what they love to do and their hopes and dreams, and call that client and connect with them, right? And it's so easy to say, gosh, I'm really sorry that I haven't followed up. But you heard Lori talk about, right, a client from 7 years ago who's now one of her best referral sources, because she was humble enough to call after 7 years, where most of us, I'd be chicken, I'll admit it, right? I mean, that's a hard call to make. And so I love the fact that not only did Lori connect with the client 7 years ago on that level, that she actually felt comfortable doing it. She also has the humility to do it. And so that would sort of be my action plan there. I think there's so much knowledge in this community. Definitely there's some threads that Dave and I have started in the Mortgage Coach Mastermind group, and jump in there and be part of that dialogue too, today and over the weekend. That would be awesome as well. So, great call, Dave, Lori, Danny, Wally, Kelly, you guys rocked it.
So some closing thoughts. One, we will put a lot of the assets and resources that we covered on today's call, both in the Mortgage Coach Mastermind group and in the description. Someone asked for a copy of the slides. We'll include a link to the slides. Do remember, everybody, that this is recorded. It will be available in the Mortgage Coach Facebook group, or not Facebook, but YouTube page. Make sure, if you haven't already, that you subscribe, so that every time we add a new video, you get an update. Wally, if you didn't watch Wally's call and you want to partner with realtors to maximize conversion, check that out. Jeremy had some technical issues and was not able to jump in, but the top 5 questions Jeremy's asking realtors, I mean, I don't know, I think it's just awesome. So check that out. So with that said, guys, I'm going to push a survey and close out today's call. Let us know what you thought of today's call. And also, if you are new to the community and you want to learn more about Mortgage Coach, answer the last one. Do you want to know a Mortgage Coach? So let us know what you thought of today's call and answer this last survey question. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Wally. Thank you, everybody who delivered value on today's call.
Hey, guys. Enjoyed it.